The 2024 cycle had its ups and downs. We saw surprise commitments. We saw surprise decommitments, flips. We saw short-term signees. This cycle had a ton of drama. So let's break down the 5 moves that shocked me the most this year. But first, do me a favor. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. If you watched one of my videos covering the 2024 class, then go ahead and hit subscribe because we're doing it for all 2025. All right. My 5 biggest surprises. We're going to start in descending order, so we'll start with number 5. Offensive tackle Jordan Seaton to Colorado. A shocker on decision day. I thought, and I read it wrong, I thought it was going to be Tennessee, maybe Alabama, maybe Ohio State. Oregon, they were really confident. At one point, Jordan Seaton said that Oregon was his dream school. But the 6', 295-pound offensive tackle is now a Colorado Buffalo, and he is that crown jewel of the Buffs class. Coach Prime gets the most important recruit on his board. He said he needed offensive lineman. He went out and he got one of the best in Jordan Seaton. I think he makes an immediate impact. I think he battles for a starting job as soon as he steps on campus, which he already has. He's an early enrollee. So Jordan Seaton to Colorado, that's in my 5 spot. That was a pretty big shocker. Moving on to number 4, QB Julian Sayin ends up a Buckeye. And at first I thought maybe this is my biggest surprise. I thought Julian Sayin enrolling at Alabama and then ending up at Ohio State had to be the biggest shocker of the cycle. But then I thought, if you told me 3 months ago, if Julian Sayin was going to be a Buckeye, I would have said the only way that could possibly happen is if Nick Saban retired. And that's exactly what happened. So the only way Julian Sayin would have flipped his commitment to Bama from Bama is if Saban retired. And that's what happens. That's a surprise, but I wouldn't say it's the biggest shocker to me. But having seen Julian Sayin put on that Alabama uniform, he put on the helmet, he put on the patch, he participated in workouts as they were preparing for the playoffs. So for a brief period, he was coached by Nick Saban. But to see him do that and then enroll at Ohio State, it's pretty crazy, but it's a sign of the times. All right, number 3 on my list, defensive lineman Armando Blunt. He flips back to Miami. So follow me here for a second. In early December, Armando Blunt was the number 1 2025 defensive lineman in America. So he's going up to Tallahassee in early December. He arrives in Tallahassee as a Miami commitment in the 2025 class. He's leaving Tallahassee. He announces 2 things. One, that he's reclassifying up to 2024, and he's also flipping his commitment to the rival Florida State Seminoles. So this was a huge shocker because he'd been committed to the Miami Hurricanes as a 2025, flips, and now remember, the date of this is only about 2 or 3 weeks before the early signing period. So it looks like, hey, he flips his commitment to the rival FSU Seminoles, and he's about to sign with them. Well, guess what? On National Signing Day, he flips back. We see one of the most rare moves in recruiting, the double switch flip back, and it happens on National Signing Day. Armando Blunt inks with the Canes. That was my number 3 biggest shocker of the cycle. Moving on to number 2, we have safety KJ Baldwin flips on National Signing Day. And I don't know what was more of a shocker here, him flipping on National Signing Day or actually just KJ Baldwin committing to FSU in August over Auburn, Georgia, and Alabama. That was a pretty big shocker. But what he did on signing day shocked everybody because of the way that it went down. Remember, KJ said Florida State was his dream school. He committed to them in August. It all made sense. He saved his final official visit for FSU. He took all those others early. So he's in Tallahassee just 3 days before National Signing Day. He comes out of there, talks to reporters. He was not happy about people asking him about his commitment status. He made it sound like it was a sure thing until signing day when he flipped. And after he flipped, he said that he knew he was going to do that for about 2 to 3 weeks. So again, just out of nowhere, we did not see this one coming, not the way that it went down at least. That was my number 2 recruiting shocker of the cycle. But number 1 goes to who else but quarterback Dylan Riol when he flipped to Nebraska. Now remember, Dylan Riol committed to Georgia at the end of May. He recruited for the Dogs all summer. The summer months are the most important recruiting months of the cycle. And he was all dog. He was in Athens almost every big recruiting weekend. And he was a big piece of that class. So big that he transferred high schools. He was living in Phoenix, Arizona, went to Pinnacle High School. transferred to Buford High School as a UGA commitment, goes to Buford High School, plays his senior year, and leaves a Nebraska Cornhusker. Now, we all know the reasons why he flipped his commitment and why he changed programs. But in the end, I mean, for him to go from the back-to-back national champions to Nebraska, it had to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, shocker in the 2024 cycle. Inside Scoop fans, college football season is wrapping up, and it also means that the NFL is winding down as well. But there's still some great games left in the season. And you know what's not great, though? Finding last-minute tickets. Finding last-minute tickets, it can be a nightmare. Do not let this be the way your 2024 goes. That's why I'm here to tell you about GameTime. It is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the big-time matchups. The GameTime app is great. It's easy to use, and it works in any city, any team. And you get the best price guarantee. Do not stress over getting into your team's favorite games anymore. There's only so many big games, and you need to get these tickets at the best prices. GameTime is the place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. GameTime has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. GameTime is obsessed with finding ways to help you save money. Zone deals, all right? This is where you pick a section, and GameTime picks the seats for big savings. So here's what we're gonna do. Snag the tickets without stress with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code INSIDESCOOP for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code INSIDESCOOP for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So let me know. Comment section below. There were some big ones. DeMarcus Riddick, Cam Coleman was a big one. There were so many shockers. Justin Scott flipping. Jeremiah Smith sticking. You guys tell me, what was your biggest signing day shocker of the cycle? Let me know. 2024, the cycle is over. The recruiting class is done. The hay is in the barn. However you want to say it. We're moving on to 2025. We got a big show today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.